Well, welcome, friends. My name is Pastor Susie. If you're brand new, just tuning in. We do something every single Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place, called Learning Leadership, where I want to do my best to invest and encourage in anyone that will listen, members of the community, that I believe that you, no matter who you are, no matter what area or what age of life you're in, I believe that if you will do and work hard and do everything that you can, I believe that God created you on purpose, for a purpose, and believe that if you're willing to embrace what God's made you to be, that you can change the world and you can achieve so much in your life. And I want to do my best every week to encourage you and hopefully leave you with some practical tips of what I believe that can invest in you to make a difference in the world around you. Today, I want to ask a very, very important question. It's a question that I often ask myself, and that is the question of, what's your next big thing? What's your next big thing? What right now in your life are you currently working on to make progress in your life? And I want to talk about that from really two major areas. And one is, of course, what is the next big thing you're working on? What's the next big project you're working on? What is it? And then point number two, I want to talk about, maybe it's not a next thing and a new thing that you're making a big change, but maybe it's an old thing, but you're just looking to make a big improvement. And first, what's the next big thing that you're currently working on in your life? Maybe you've hit that age where maybe you're in your mid to late 40s and your kids they're kind of maybe graduating high school. They're kind of on their way out. And now you and your wife are left with a little bit more time on your hands. Maybe you're becoming an empty nester and you're kind of posed with that question. Okay, our kids are beginning to get out. Now what? What's the next big thing? Maybe there was that education or that bachelor's degree that maybe earlier in life you had to kind of put on the back burner because, family started, life started, and there was more important things you wanted to focus on. But now that maybe you're in a different season, what's the next big thing that you're working on? Maybe for you, you've always had that lifelong dream to start that business you always wanted, and maybe now's the time. What's the next big thing that's going to happen in your life? Maybe for you, I do not believe that this is for everybody. I do not believe that everybody is meant to be a streamer, but maybe for you, you've been feeling in your heart that you should maybe try streaming. Opportunity to hang out, influence, and encourage other people, but maybe you've been nervous. But what's the next big thing that you're working on? And that is a question obviously only that you can answer. But what I want to encourage you with is not making this a one-time question. The reason I want to bring this to you is I want this to be a question that you're asking yourself often. What's the next big thing? Especially for me, I was on vacation about 2 weeks ago. And when I was on vacation, I asked myself, okay, when I get back, what's the next big thing that we're going to be working on? What's the next big thing that we really want to be doing? And for me, the most important personal thing that I want to be working on, because one, you've got goals you want to achieve, in your family, personally, in your work life, your spiritual life, whatever it may be. But for me, a few of those answers was, okay, when I get back from vacation, what's the next big thing? I want to try, one, I want to get in shape and I want to work out, but two, I want to experiment doing workout streams. And I want to see if maybe there's opportunity for me to influence people in a positive way via the workout streams. Maybe there is a new avenue of people that I can connect with on Twitch. People that maybe aren't interested in a Fortnite or interested in World of Warcraft, but maybe they're interested in fitness streams. And maybe for me, the next big thing is increasing my influence, increasing my ability to connect with people by doing workout streams. For me, getting back from vacation, one of the things I was like, when we're back from vacation, the next big thing we really got to work out, we really got to work on the YouTube channel. I need some content on the YouTube channel, but not just like short highlight videos or not just recaps from the stream, but I want to get some real good, YouTube content on as frequently as I can. Not every single week, not every day, but what are some practical things that I could do? So I've already met with our team and we've got some plans for BFA on just some YouTube videos we can get out, trying to at least get one Fortnite win a week, which is obviously doable, so we can add at least one really great Fortnite. And for me, asking myself, what's the next big thing? But here's really what I want to encourage you with, is that making this a common question that you ask on a frequent basis. Because here's what people do. We have big goals, big ambitions, and we finish that goal. What's my next big thing? Oh, I want to do this. And then once that's completed, we just kind of leave it. Okay, well, we're done. I did a thing. And we settle and we move on from there. And what I want to encourage you with is that every time you finish a big thing, it's on to the next big thing. Of course, you can take some time to rest and recoup, but on to the next big thing. Always keep growing. Always keep challenging yourself. And for you, I want you to ask yourself right now in your life today, what's the next big thing that you're working on? Maybe it's, like I said, starting a business, beginning a stream, going back to school, maybe going to school for the first time, whatever it may be. What's your next big thing? And maybe you're asking yourself and you're saying, man, I don't really have a next big thing. I don't have a new goal that I'm looking forward to. I don't have a new way that I'm challenging and stretching myself. And oftentimes a big thing might not be a big thing, but maybe it's big just because it's challenging. I'll be honest, for me, trying workout streams was very uncomfortable for me. It was very transparent. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to tell people how much I weigh, how overweight I am. They're gonna see my full body when normally they only kind of see me from this range up. And I'm normally I'm small on the screen, so they don't see all of me anyway. Now I'm gonna have to be vulnerable and be like, you know what? I'm not exactly happy with the way that I look, but you know what? I'm gonna make some improvements. And for me, it was a challenge. And it was a big deal. Might not be a big thing, but it was a big deal for me because it took me out of my comfort zone. What are you doing right now that's taking you out of your comfort zone? What's your next big thing? And maybe for you, on a second outlook, maybe it's not something new. Maybe it's not, I'm going to try something I've never done before. Maybe for you, it's something that you've already done or maybe been doing for a long time, but maybe it's not that you need to make a big move. Maybe you need to make a big improvement. And maybe you need to take something that you already do, but maybe you say, you know what? I don't really remember the last time I actually tried to get better at it. I can't remember the last time that I tried to improve. I can't remember the last time that I put effort in growing in my gifts or challenging myself and growing in my talents. What for you is the next thing that you can make a big improvement in? Like I said, maybe for you, it's I've been married for 15 years. But you know what? Maybe I can make a big improvement in my marriage by doing X, Y, and Z. Maybe I've been working the same job for 10 years and I feel like I've got it down pat. I can do it. And the reality is, if you're not being challenged, you're not growing. So maybe you're saying, okay, well, maybe I can make a big improvement in the way that I do my job, even though I've been doing it 15 years. But maybe I can stretch myself to go to the next big level. And having that common and frequent question of, what's my next big thing? It will always be stretching you, always be growing you. This is something I try to ask myself as frequently as I can. Susie, what's the next big thing? We've got some ambitions going on here, but okay, when that's done, what are you going to do next? And thinking ahead and be forward thinking, because if you're not running ahead, you're falling behind. And I never want to be stagnant, and I never want to stop growing. I want to be the best that I can be. And oftentimes it takes you to pause, maybe even take some time and pray and ask God, what's the next big thing that I need to be doing with my life? Whether it's improving at an area or maybe trying something you've never done before. Can I encourage you, no matter how young or how old you may be, I tell you that God's still got a plan for you, which means that even if you're, in mid-50s, you feel, well, I've been, I'm beginning to get a little bit older. 50, by the way, is still super young. But maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I'm hitting maybe that second half of my life. This is not the time to try something new. I would say, as just respectfully as I can, I might disagree, because I know a God who can use you even in your age, even in your 50s, even in your 60s, that God can still do something new through you. And I want to challenge you, even if you're young. What's the next big thing that you're working on? What's the next big thing that's going to take you to the next level in your life, in your marriage, in your job, your relationship with God? And asking yourself this on a frequent basis so that you never fall behind or you're never staying stagnant, but you're always looking ahead. What's your next big thing? Quick one today, but I hope you guys have been blessed by our learning leadership. I really encourage you to take it in your life. I try to ask myself that all the time, and it's a huge, huge, huge blessing for me. Some of you are astonished at how quickly we got through our learning leadership today. I'll be honest with you, I am too. Hey, if you guys want to hear more of these talks, definitely come back every single Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'd love to encourage you in any way that I can every Monday. Learning Leadership. Friends, I believe it's time for some more Fortnite. Let's get it. Why didn't that work? There we go.